ओंटारियो के प्रीमियर डग फूड ने अनाउंसमेंट की सी कि हाईवे 401 ਉਹਦੇ ਥੱਲੇ एक्सप्रैसवे टनल बनाई जाएगी और ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी और रिपोर्ट ਉੱਤੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ। ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਕਾफ़ी ਸਵਾਲ ਵੀ ਉੱਠੇ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਹਾਈਵੇ 407 ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਓਪਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, लेकिन कुछ ਦਾ कहना है कि ਆ ਇੱਕ आउट ऑफ बॉक्स आइडिया है और प्रीमियर फोर्ड का कहना है कि पिछली सरकारां ने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं डिवेलप किया, हाईवेज़ नहीं बनाए तो असी ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ काम कर रहे हैं बिल्ड ओंटारियो। ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ट्रांसपोर्ट मिनिस्टर प्रमीत सरकारिया ने राउंड टेबल कॉन्फ्रेंस करते हुए दसिया कि हाईवे 407 की ऑप्शन भी ओपन है, ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ भी सरकार गलबात कर रही है और जिहड़ी टनल बनाने की गल है ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ फिजिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी की जाऊगी ताकि ब्रैम्पटन नूं स्कारबरो दे नाल फास्ट ट्रैक नाल जोड़िया जाए, क्योंकि साडे शहरों के अंदर ट्रैफिक कंजेशन बहुत ज़्यादा हो गई है। देखते हैं मिनिस्टर सरकारिया ने की किया हाईवे 407 के उपर कि हाईवे 407 नूं बायबैक करन दी गल की ऑप्शन हैगी है सरकार कोल, और दूजा जिहड़ा इलीगल ट्रक ड्राइवर्स विजिटर आके कैनेडा च ड्राइव कर रहे हैं और वो फड़े जा रहे हैं। अजकल MTO ने काफ़ी शिकंजा कसिया होया है, ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਕਾफ़ੀ ਵਾਰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰੀ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਨੋਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਾਰੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਕੀ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਲੀਗਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਡਰਾਈਵਰਸ ਹੈ ਰੋਡ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਟੈਕਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਸਾਰੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਸਰਕਾਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਰੱਖੇ। ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਕਾਨਫਰੰਸ।
As many of you know, we've got a large, ambitious capital plan on transportation with respect to building highways, subways, bridges, and as of last week announced a almost 60-kilometer long tunnel that will run from Brampton, Mississauga, all the way down to Scarborough and Markham. So very exciting things happening at the Ministry of Transportation, and an opportunity for us to continue to build transit. We're in this position today. All the gridlock, we see traffic has increased so much, but we're in this position because previous governments never built highways, never built infrastructure, never built the roads that we needed to use. And so Premier Doug Ford, whether it be subways, public transit, whether it be the Highway 413 Bradford bypass, we are going full steam ahead in getting those built. We've considered, when it was the time to build the 413, the option of the 407. We know that there's a huge demand for new highways. What we've seen in Canada, specifically in Ontario, is huge population growth. Previous governments didn't build highways, they didn't build transit, and now we have gridlock everywhere. And we see that the population continues to grow across the province, and we need to make sure that we build more infrastructure. Irrespective, if we do absolutely nothing, do the status quo, every highway in this province, whether it be 407 or whether it be any of the other 400 series highways, they will be at full capacity. That's why we have to build the 413, that's why we have to build the tunnel, and this is why we'll continue to examine even more options when it comes to easing gridlock. When it comes to other governments, other parties, they choose the option of not to build. They choose the option of status quo. We saw that happen, you're right, on the 413 for 3 years. They stalled progress on the 413 because of an environmental assessment. Even though we've done a study, the route for almost 20 years now, it's been on the books. Those are all politically motivated decisions by parties. I think the federal government realized they made the wrong decision by interfering on the 413, given how popular it was, and they dropped it. I think if you look at the 401 right now, the 401 is one of the most congested and busiest highways today in all of North America. You got LA that might be competitive and how much more traffic they have. You got cities like New York, but traffic is getting really bad in the GTA, and it's because previous governments didn't build for the future. And so this is a very, very important project, and it's about thinking more than just 4 years. It's about making sure we think for 20 years ahead, 50 years ahead, 100 years ahead to build up for the future. And we know in the next 10 years, all of our highways are going to be at capacity. We need more highways. We need new highways. And so this tunneling idea, irrespective of political stripe, is going to be a very popular idea and one that is really needed for relief. And I don't think the federal government, especially the Prime Minister and his team, have a right in any way to stop this project. because it's provincial jurisdiction. We have court rulings also that have told the federal government to stay away from provincial initiatives. So we'll make sure environmental rules are followed, but ultimately we will do anything and everything we can to get shovels in the ground on all of our projects as quickly as possible, but also protecting the environment.
My question is, did Ministry of Transport released any written notification in terms of visitors getting commercial driving license? Because we have heard that recently MTOs are very strict and MTOs are checking on the roads. But any written notification released, or in coming days, weeks, Ministry is planning to release a written notification that if anyone is caught, they will get penalized, or what kind of plans Ministry have on this? Thank you.
Thank you. And I know you've raised this one in the past as well, including the press conference. So we are going to come forward in the next 2 to 3 weeks, as soon as the legislature is back in session, with a package of a legislative package that has even more provisions with respect to commercial vehicle safety. One being what we have seen has been the loophole around the commercial vehicle licensing process. So for the past year, I've had the opportunity, whether it be with you or other trucking associations and those in the industry, talking about this issue and the challenges it creates for the drivers and also some of the bad actors on the road. We will be taking more action on this, and we will be definitely updating specifically closer to the resumption of the legislature on what other measures that we can be putting forward to keep our roads even more safer. So we know we need to continue to work on that, and also continue to ensure that the right people have it. We have definitely picked up enforcement. We have a lot more enforcement vehicles on the ground. We've hired many more enforcement officers. We've invested, just in the north, $30 million on a new scale facility in Shunya, right out of the Thunder Bay, to protect and monitor trucks there. Just last week, we ran a big blitz on Highway 50, close to Peel Region in Caledon and Brampton, on taking trucks off the road that were non-compliant. And so anybody caught, anyone driving illegally, will be suspended on roadside, taken away on roadside, and ensure that even more penalties are put forward there to support the industry.